act of applying yourself. Seems like common sense, seems cliche. Needless to say. But I don't see people really doing it, and it starts with me not seeing myself do it. However, I haven't been able to see myself, or anybody else for that matter, doing it because I've seen myself do it sometimes. And having done it sometimes has motivated me to do it more. What am I talking about specifically? Applying yourself. I'm not just talking about applying for a job, applying yourself to achieve a relationship. Applying yourself to achieve things like that are commonplace. We don't really think anything of it. We just, I've got to apply myself. Quite literally, with a job, you have to apply for the job. We don't really say you have to apply for a girlfriend or a boyfriend. It's the same thing though. But don't stop there. Why stop there? If you applied for the job and you got it, it's because you applied yourself. If you applied for the girlfriend or the boyfriend and you got it, it's because you applied yourself. And it feels good, right? Kind of necessary to have a job and a relationship. At least one relationship in your life. Remember, it's also about keeping the job and keeping the relationships in our lives. So the applying yourself doesn't stop. You continue that application. But to apply yourself to these things is to acquire good that you are grateful for. I'm grateful for my job and the relationships in my life. And it's recognized that it's through effort that I applied myself. Has a negative connotation. Okay, I understand that. But that's the challenge. Because if you applied yourself to those things and you got those things and you're happy, yay, then why not apply yourself to other things that seem like chores? This thought came about when I opened my mailbox and expected one thing that might be on its way, but not too surprised that it was empty. It's been empty several times. Sometimes it's got things in it like junk mail. So when it's empty, I'm like, all right, at least there's no junk mail. But there's a sort of feeling of emptiness in my soul. I don't recognize it. Similar to a way that a fish does not recognize that it's surrounded by water, or so we think. I mean, most of the time we don't recognize that we're surrounded by oxygen, but we know we are when we think about it. So when I opened my mailbox and I know it was empty, for some reason I thought about it. And I thought, as I have before, send a letter. I've sent letters before. If I send a letter, sometimes I'll get some letter in return. And I thought, how would life be if I sent letters all the time? Okay, maybe one letter a month at least to somebody. Maybe somebody new every month. Maybe a handful of people, and just interchange from month to month. If I do something like that, perhaps the more I do it, the more I'll get in return. Yeah, it sounds selfish. I'm only doing it to receive something, right? But it's a freaking letter. Write it from your heart. Be authentic about the letter. And keep in mind that you're putting something in somebody else's mailbox with good intent and good notion. But also, maybe you'll get some back. You won't get every letter replied to. That's unrealistic, unreasonable to expect that. But if you send 10 letters a year, you might get back 2 or 3, depending on maybe how well you wrote the letter or the nature of the letter. But you're going to get stuff in your mailbox that you might enjoy. I think you're catching on to the point I'm trying to make. The more we give, the more we get. But it requires us to apply ourselves. That's all.